What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Figure It Out of the Basement's action figure talk show. I'm Nate, joined with Justin.
What's up, guys?
And today we are counting down the top 10 Black Series figures of 2020.
Hard year.
I think I'm going to go on record here and say that this is probably the best year.
Oh, yes.
For the Black Series of all time.
Absolutely.
And you guys will see that reflected in our list when you see what's even in the honorable mentions. It's going to be crazy. But first things first, if you haven't checked out last week's episode of Figure It Out, I highly suggest that you do. We are doing a massive collaborative giveaway with our good friend of the channel, Jeremy, aka Jedi Hunter 83. It's super easy to enter the giveaway. It is for US fans only. I'm sorry, Canadian brothers, UK brothers and sisters. Maybe one day, but for right now, staying US only. But here's what you could potentially win. We're giving away a Mandalorian Super Commando, an Empire Strikes Back 40th Anniversary Snow Trooper, an Electrostaff Gaming Greats Purge Trooper, the Incinerator Trooper, Darth Nihilus, and last but certainly not least, Plo Koon. So really solid lineup of figures. Of course, they're mostly from Jeremy, but if you haven't entered, I highly suggest you do. So with that out of the way, let's jump into it, J-Rick, with some honorable mentions of the year. It should be noted before we get into this, this is starting at the Heavy Battle Droid, which came out way back when in February, and it's going all the way up to the Endor, Heroes of Endor wave. So while potentially the upcoming Mandalorian wave with Moff Gideon, Greef Karga, and Queel could be found before the year is up, same thing with the archive figures, we're going to save those for next year, if any of them end up making the list.
Yeah, most sources are saying a February release for those. At least Amazon is.
But anyways, that's what the window of time we are going to be referencing for this video. So Justin, start us out here with a couple honorable mentions.
Well, this is such a banger. It's an honorable mention, but Luke Skywalker, HOTH, the SNOWSPEEDER, Luke Skywalker.
He's right here.
Yeah, one of the best Lukes in the line, second to one Luke.
Yep, I'd say so.
It's a perfect accessory to go with the SNOWSPEEDER, because that also released this year. Best vehicle.
Yeah, it was the only vehicle, but also I guarantee if there was another vehicle, the SNOWSPEEDER probably still would have won.
Yeah. Butterfly joints, nice head sculpt. Some people complained that there wasn't like a head that didn't have the cap.
Yeah.
Whatever you call that, but it's such a good figure.
Yeah, it's seriously a fantastic Luke, but there was one better Luke released this year that is on this list.
Very true.
Our next honorable mention is the Imperial Probe Droid.
Yeah, was this wasn't D4? D3?
Yeah, D3.
Yeah, because D4
is something else.
Is something else.
But the Imperial Probe Droid, masterpiece level figure. Really great stuff. I love the little stand it comes with. It's got tons of articulation for all the little
snow base
tendrils.
Yeah. Unexpected articulation. There's some good rusty paint on it.
Right.
As well, and there's a bit of customizable elements to it that I was not expecting, such as the antenna and the blaster. So it's big.
Yeah.
It's huge, and it's very satisfying to have and to look at, and was a really good way to commemorate The Empire Strikes Back. That was kind of the theme this year for a good, decent amount of months.
Yeah.
This year was dedicated to The Empire Strikes Back. So it's just so satisfying.
Absolutely.
And the next and final honorable mention, because we wanted to limit it to 3, because keep in mind, there are so many more figures that we love and I'm so happy to have that are not going to be mentioned in this video at all.
Right.
And that says something about 2020. So if something's not on our list, we'd still most likely love it.
Right.
And our final honorable mention was the 332nd Ahsoka Clone Trooper.
It hurts. It hurts to make it an honorable mention, but like
technically a repaint.
Looking at everything else on the list, I'm like, That's probably where it would end up for me.
Yep, technically a repaint of the Camino Clone Trooper, which is also a great figure release this year, but obviously Clone Wars Season 7, Siege of Mandalore arc, it goes with the Ahsoka and the other two that were in the Walmart exclusive wave. Horrible idea to make them Walmart exclusives. I hated it, but it did turn out to be a lucky find, a lucky hunt with Vader X bricks. So it turned into a positive memory for me, but man, the Clone Trooper body has needed an update.
Definitely.
Desperately. And now they can aim down their sights. Not as good as one other revamp that may or may not be coming. But,
True.
But still a welcome clone body. We are defenders of the new clone body, the new bodies in general. Here's to more repaints of that trooper.
Yep, I'll take them. I will absolutely take them. All right, so before we get into the list, of course, keep in mind, this is our opinion. This is out of the basement's list. This isn't based on anything else other than our opinion. And of course, we would love to know what your top 10 figures of the year are in the comments down below. So starting out at number 10 is the Beskar Mandalorian.
Yep.
Number 10.
Yeah, it justifiably number 10.
Right.
Because it is an amazing figure. It comes with the jetpack. It's unpainted and it doesn't match it's not the right shade.
And the plastic
gray,
the
plastic cape,
cape,
and it's not a 100% repaint of the regular Mandalorian because it has the Beskar in general is a little bit different, and then the whistling birds and the gauntlets are different, and we missed out on the rotating forearm gauntlet articulation.
I wonder what made them decide to change that and make it to where the gauntlets no longer rotate.
Yeah.
Because, obviously the sculpt changed for the whistling birds, but you still couldn't make them rotate?
Yeah. So since we lost articulation from the regular Mando to this one, I think it gets bumped down a few points, but it's still just so satisfying to see a Beskar Mando, especially if you pick up the child. It's such a satisfying figure, and it's still a great figure articulation-wise, but we did lose out on those cuffs.
Definitely.
Rotating cuffs. Coming in at number 9 is a figure released earlier this year. This is actually a red and black box figure, Commander Bly.
Hey.
This was in the Commander Bly Count Dooku wave. Super hard to find in stores, just the Attack of the Clones wave. I bumped him a few points while thinking about this list just because of the incorrect paint.
Right.
If there is a correct paint variation.
Absolutely. Right now, because I know that the Blys that are floating around are a new batch of the figure, but it hasn't really been confirmed if it is the one with the correct chin stripe.
Right.
So
it doesn't bother me that much,
though,
because it's the first clone in the Black Series to get the binos that fold down or up. It is on the Rex body, so it is reused, but at least it's the Rex body, which is, I don't know which clone body I like more, like the new Clone Wars one or the Rex/Bly body, but why didn't they make more on the Bly body like Fox and Gree and everyone? But
right, because we had the Rex body by the time those figures came out, and he also has the ARC Trooper styled double pauldron.
Pauldrons,
and
first one to have that too.
True.
So
and
there's a lot of new stuff with him.
It's a great looking figure. Of course, the Rex Bly body has great articulation. It's hard to say which one is better though. The new clone body or the Rex Bly body. I think the Rex Bly body might have better proportions. I know that there has been a lot of heated discussions in our comment sections about which one is better. But Bly is still an excellent figure. Yeah. I'm happy that he's easily available now. I mean, it took him 8 months, but here we are.
Yep.
And coming in at number 8 is the Armorer. I think specifically for us, we're going to just say it's the Deluxe Armorer.
Right.
We don't have the standard release, although I'm sure she is pretty great. But specifically with the Deluxe one, you get those exclusive accessories with the translucent plastic that we love so much.
Yes.
I think the soft goods fur is easily way better than the plastic that I've seen. I've watched some reviews, and it seems like the plastic version doesn't stay on very well, especially if you want to, like, you know, move her arms around at all.
Okay.
So I think in that regard, it's better, and I think it just generally looks better as well. Of course, I think soft goods almost always look better than like hard plastic stuff. It's not always the case, but I think for the armorer specifically,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's new, it's unique.
She's got great
She
articulation.
does. I'm a sucker for like extra little bits.
Yeah.
Extra little accessories.
Because you get the hammer, then you get the hot hammer, you get the Mando helmet
Yeah, you get
with the little
the hot tongs, you get the regular tongs.
that little like blast effect
yeah,
piece.
the blast effect. I love little stuff like that. Because down the road it just really helps with like diorama
Yep.
making or scenes that you try to recreate and whatnot, but so good.
Absolutely.
Coming up next is another figure from the Clone Wars Walmart wave, and that is Ahsoka Tano. A surprising amount of new mold.
Yes.
Butterfly joints on a lean female character in the Black Series.
Yeah.
Because usually they insult and disrespect the smaller female characters and just give them crap articulation.
Yep. Which Hasbro typically does across the board for everything. You know, Marvel Legends as well. The female figures are always notoriously worse. And I mean, same thing with the Black Series. But this figure, like you said, surprising new amount of sculpt work. We got the new butterfly joints. We, of course, got that new head that is absolutely amazing.
Yep. New hilts in the Black Series.
Yep. New hilts for her sabers.
There is a certain amount of reuse with like the gauntlets and
The legs.
other tidbits there,
But we initially it kind of seemed like it was a lot more lazy than it ended up being. Just like another figure that's much higher up on this list. But she's great. I love that they gave her kind of like the little smirk.
Yep.
That was just the icing on the cake, because you couldn't really tell from the promo photos that she had that smirk, but when you look at her in real life, you're like, oh, they gave her like the classic Ahsoka kind of sassy smirk with her face.
Right.
And she looks great next to Anakin, next to Obi-Wan. On the shelf, I have them all with, you know, like kind of like a Clone Wars display.
Yeah, the Clone Wars display is just, it's coming together.
Yes.
Now that they've started a Clone Wars line.
Coming in at number 6 is the Dagobah Luke and Yoda 2-pack. To this day, as of right now, the best photoreal Mark Hamill in the entire line.
Yep.
I think they finally got it with that figure.
Yep.
The hair is awesome. The figure has great articulation. At first, I was kind of, because this was the winner of the fan vote a couple years back, I was kind of regretting that. Like, man, I should have voted for Lobot, or I should have voted for a more obscure character. But then I got the 2-pack in hand. And I was like, you know what, never mind.
Accessories, you got the backpack, you have alternate hands.
Yeah, which is something we never see in the Black Series.
Besides the Palpatine.
Right, but you get the, of course, the handstand hand, which the figure can freestand on its own. And you also get a Force lifting hand, I guess, when he's, you know, pulling up the X-Wing.
Yoda.
You also get Yoda, who's
The new Yoda.
properly scaled, great paint apps, 2 alternate heads. Another thing you don't really see in the Black Series. Of course, there's a couple examples, but you get the closed eye head, you get the open eye head, you get the backpack so you can put him on the back of Luke if you so choose. It's just a fantastic set.
Yep.
And it also has those new knees that are pinless and also are single jointed, which some people complain about. But I love it that they took like the NECA approach and it hides the joint.
Right.
So it looks much more realistic.
Yep. And a figure that we're not going to mention at all in this video, but the Dagobah R2, it's just a nice little thing to go with that.
Yeah.
That I really enjoy.
Just to have all 3 of those together on the shelf, I'm like, this is so good.
Yeah. Very satisfying. Coming in at number 5, we're in the top 5. This was so hard. This is another figure released earlier this year, around March, and that is going to be Count Dooku, a long-awaited villain, one of the biggest villains in Star Wars.
Yep.
Took forever to get a Black Series figure, but I'm glad it happened now, so we can get that nice photo reel of Christopher Lee. We can get those butterfly joints. There's a lightsaber whoosh effect.
Yeah. Which is something that we need to see more of, Hasbro. Don't just do a one and done.
Yeah.
Start including that with everyone.
Yep.
Please, if they have a lightsaber, just throw it in there. Just throw it in there.
Yep.
Soft goods cape. Photoreal head that is amazing and is actually much better than the insanely expensive SH Figure Arts version of the figure. Hasbro completely slaughtered that version of the figure, and only for $20.
Yeah.
And again, he has the pinless, I believe actually Dooku has pinless elbows and knees. So
Okay.
again, it creates a much more realistic looking figure. He's got amazing shelf presence. I love that the cape, you can very easily, you know, fold it like how he has it folded sometimes, or you can have it completely draped over.
Yep.
You can do both options with the figure. And like you said, I'm glad that we got him at this point in the Black Series, because just imagine if we got him pre-photo reel. He probably would have looked horrendous. So Count Dooku is a figure that is easily worth the wait. Coming in at number 4 is the Empire Strikes Back Darth Vader. This is what we were talking about when we mentioned that figure with Ahsoka. A surprisingly new figure.
Butterfly joints on Vader. Finally.
You can get him in such natural, good, double-handed, gripping lightsaber poses now.
I mean, this is the quintessential Vader in the Black Series. Undeniably the best Vader. Because, yeah, in Star Wars 1977, he had, like, red translucent eyes, but it was not at, like, how they made the figure.
Or if you have the brown-eyed variant like me.
Which, that's always been a thing. With the Blue Line Vader, with the 40th anniversary of Star Wars Vader, why did they give him brown eyes on paint instead of black?
I have no idea.
And for the red variant, it looks cool because it's reminiscent of the Ralph McQuarrie art, concept art. But I've always just wanted a Vader with black eyes, because that's how I see Vader. That's how everyone sees Vader.
And while it's a minor detail, of course, the 40th anniversary of New Hope version has the fabric over the armor, which is accurate to the movie, but I like it more when the fabric is tucked underneath that chest armor. So it's just got amazing, accurate details.
The gunmetal gray on, like, the neck area.
The cape is huge. They give you so much cape to work with. I love that. Of course, he's got the soft goods skirt piece as well. And it's just an excellent update to an already pretty good figure.
We've needed just a normal Darth Vader for so long.
Right.
Emperor's Wrath Darth Vader. Puppy Dog Eye Vader. Vader with brown eyes. Vader with red eyes, which is cool. Because, yes, I know at certain shots you can see David Prowse's eyes.
Rest in peace.
Through, you know, the lenses and everything. Like, I know it was translucent red, but it was ultimately black.
Yeah.
We are in the top 3, guys.
We're down to
we might get some hate for our number 3 pick. I'm just going to come out and say it. It is the Stormtrooper from the Mandalorian, or all of Star Wars. A completely new body, new head sculpt, new articulation. You can have him easily aiming down the sights of their weapons.
Yep.
Comes with the E11 blaster. Maybe it could have came with a different blaster.
Definitely.
I will say the helmet is a tad too small, but it looks 1,000 times more accurate.
Yeah. Ultimately,
than the older one.
It's a more accurate representation of the Stormtroopers from the movie. It also, the suit looks like a guy wearing armor. It doesn't look like, you know,
skeleton.
You look at this, the classic Stormtrooper here. There's no way there's a human underneath that armor.
Right.
It's way too thin. So they've made some really great improvements. Again, the pinless design, so no pins in the elbows or knees. So you get that more realistic look where you literally look like you have a little tiny Stormtrooper. of course, I know a lot of people out there have gotten warped helmets, which is definitely an issue that needs to be addressed. Both of us have been incredibly lucky on all of the Stormtroopers we've gotten so far. We've had no warped helmets at all. And clone troopers. Yep. That's an issue for both of those figures right now, which we acknowledge. However, we are extremely fortunate to have not experienced that yet.
Right. Do we mention the butterfly joints?
Yes, the butterfly joints.
There have been so many figures to come out this year that have butterfly joints. Admiral Akbar has butterfly joints.
Right. And obviously this isn't the case for all collectors, but jumping back to the alternate weapon situation, if you're like us, you've been collecting for a while, you've got a million of the
you have an absolute armory.
You have a million of the longer
the
rifle.
Heavy blaster.
Yeah.
I mean, just collecting the sand troopers alone,
right? That
gives you 3, 6, 9 weapons right there. I mean, I have an absolute armory of accessories.
So it's but I get it. You know, if you're a new collector or it's your first Stormtrooper, definitely could be frustrating that he only comes with the E11 blaster. But then again, when it comes to the movies, you don't see really the Stormtroopers using the other weapons.
Unless it's like the Remnant.
Right, the Remnants.
Stormtroopers.
Yeah, very select scenes, I would say, overall, when it comes to you want a definitive Stormtrooper, you're going to pose him with the E11.
I agree.
And number 2 is a banger, has a deluxe release, has a standard release. Either way, banger status. We're talking about the second baddest bounty hunter in the galaxy, Cad Bane. What an amazing figure that Hasbro just absolutely nailed.
So unique.
Literally top to toe, brand new spanking figure.
Yes.
Amazing alien look for the Duros. Of course, Hasbro always nails the aliens, but he's got that iconic Cad Bane grin. The hat is removable, so you could also, you know, get a little attitude in there. You can have him holding his hat.
Yeah.
You could even do like the, you know, the guns pushing the hat up.
Yeah.
Of course, he's got weapon storage, butterfly joints, tons of paint detail on the figure itself.
And the deluxe version, of course.
Yep, comes with Toto 360, which is a nice little bonus. But it's one of those figures where I think, you know, if you have the deluxe version, awesome. But the standard version, still a banger. Because, I mean, ultimately, in my opinion, it's like, is Toto 360 really necessary? In some aspects, yes, but in some aspects, not really. Especially if you're trying to pick up Cad Bane on the aftermarket, where he's going for $60, $70, $80 just for Toto to be included with that.
Yep.
And Justin, what is our number 1 Black Series figure of the year? I'm sure you guys have already guessed it. It's really no surprise.
That would be the Hoth Rebel Soldier, easily number 1 of 2020, and I'm gonna say it, easily the number 1. Didn't have to put much thought into number 1. Rest of the list, absolutely, but number 1 has got to be the Hoth Rebel Soldier. Butterfly joints, a different rifle that was never seen in the Black Series before, even though it's unpainted.
Yep.
But they make up for it. The backpack is amazing, and you open up the little compartment, and there's an alternate face in there. What a great idea. There is like, what is it, like 27 different variations.
Yeah, when you include the weapon swapping.
Yeah, the weapon swapping, the goggles, the handkerchief that you could have covering the face or pulled down below the face, swapping out the faces. There's just such a variety there.
Yeah. It's really a masterpiece level figure. I think going forward for Rebel Alliance characters, this is what Hasbro needs to do.
Endor Trooper.
Let's get an Endor Trooper. Let's get 2 new faces that we could also alternatively swap back onto the Hoth soldiers, so then you could buy more Hoth soldiers, and then let's go ahead and get a re-release of the Tantive 4, you know, standard style Rebel Trooper with 2 more faces, so that you could have a wide variety of face swapping going on. I think this is a genius idea on Hasbro's part. Of course, other figure companies have done face panel swapping, specifically a lot of import companies. But this is the first time we've seen it in the Black Series, and they absolutely killed it with this figure. And so early in the year, we already knew. We were like, this is the number one figure. And while I'm a little surprised that nothing bested it, at the same time, I'm like, I couldn't see how anything else would best this. In terms of the accessories, the articulation, the details, the importance of finally having a Hoth Rebel Trooper, because we've had Snow Troopers for years.
We've had Snow Troopers, we'd had the Wampa, the Tauntaun, Hoth Luke, Hoth Han,
Hoth Leia. So it's like for years we've been like, where are the Rebel Troopers? Because we've got all these Snow Troopers with no one for them to fight.
Right.
So it's finally great to have them as part of the collection.
And there's just something extremely satisfying about having, because I have 3 now, and just when I look at them, it's not just 3 identical figures like the Fleet Trooper would be from the Tantive scene. It looks like 3 separate figures.
Yeah.
3 unique and different soldiers, which is exactly what we need.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a genius idea for army building. I'm surprised they're easily available.
Right. And even on Cyber Monday, they were down to $14 a piece.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yep.
So there you have it, folks. There were our top 10 Black Series figures of 2020. Of course, just like I said at the beginning of the video, what are your top 10 figures of the year? We'd love to hear what you liked and what you didn't like this year in the comments down below of this video. Of course, if you enjoyed our list, don't forget to leave a like on this video. Subscribe if you are new. We're always talking about Star Wars The Black Series here on the channel. Of course, I'm Nate. I've been joined with Justin.
See you guys later.
And we will see you guys next time on Out of the Basement.